guys, good morning. I hope you're doing very good. Thanks for joining me here again today. So today what I'm going to be doing is to critique some responses I got from the previous video that we have done. I'll just get right into it. Whenever Photoshop brings that kind of complaint, usually it's because the image was sent through WhatsApp. So what you just do is open it with Paint, then just Ctrl S. That's all you need. So I'm going to start with clouds. Yes, this belongs to clouds. So clouds, I actually love what you did. Actually, this is great, but the issue I'm having is that actually this is good. The only issue I'm having is the colors are somewhat not so consistent. So you're using blue, yes, but it's good when you have similar shades of blue. It's now, had it been you have repeated this particular shade of blue somewhere else, then it will actually be more unified, but it's not repeated any other place, so it's making it feel lonely. You understand? So it's not really a great idea. So then I'm going to start with your color. By the way, I actually like the way you distributed your layout. I don't have any problem with your layout. Okay, I have a tiny issue with your layout, but I'm going to clear that out. Let me start with your color. So this might not be best like this. I think, let me see if I can still make some adjustments. I want to see if I can get this blue to look like the blue is already in the design. Yeah, let me see where this went. Okay, yeah, I think it's almost there. I could change the one on our shot too, but there's no time for that. But usually you are using Photoshop is a powerful tool to actually manipulate anything you want to do. So usually it's better when you have a unified scheme. It's easier. For example, if I was working on this, I make sure that everything I select, most of the color I select will be from this image. It's not a compulsory, but sometimes it actually helps. There are times that I actually go outside that because you might want to bring in some more interesting combination, maybe like a complementary color to this, maybe like orange to complement the blue. I would have said I should paint this, but this is on the green side, so I might want to fix that individually, but that we're not going to do that for this tutorial. But assuming that we're able to fix this color, but to save our time, we're not able to do that. So I'm trying to match it like visually, and I'm comparing them with my eyes. So I think that does the job. So assuming we have cleared that, that's one. Two, I feel what you did here, it could be more. It looks like you're forcing the 6 in that rectangle. It doesn't just fit. And from looking at your design, I think a harsh edged rectangle will actually do you some good, because looking at your fonts are characterized with harsh edges. I mean, you might not consider fonts that are small because these ones are small. You can't really relate with them. I mean, you can't really point to them as references for how other fonts should be on your design. But looking at this one, because they are large, so it would be good if with similar elements, because fonts are made up of shapes. You understand? They are made up of shapes. So if the shape that makes this T has harsh edges, then it will be helpful if other shapes around your design have similar things. It's just about being harmonious. You understand? They shouldn't look like they are aliens of each other. All right. So I'm going to take this. So as I explained, because of the dominant forms, what I mean by forms are shapes and everything other thing that makes that shapes are made with. Because of the forms, the dominant forms here, which is your typography, you understand, we want to use forms that have similar properties. So we are talking, in this case we are talking about rectangles with sharp edges, not rectangles with soft round edges. All right, note that as you're doing some of these things, make sure you are not sacrificing legibility. Do not sacrifice legibility for anything. You need legibility to be at its maximum. All right, so I think that is done. Then usually the best scenario will be to align. Best thing will be to align every other thing on this top like this, taking this as the center. All right, so you can see that a lot of things didn't follow suit. Yep, I just align my baseline. Now the baseline of a text, that is the bottom of this, like letter M now, and the rest of it, not the G, the M, the MAR, blah blah blah. This could be a CTA, but then it might not necessarily. It is, but I don't want to go outside what he has done for now, because ideally, if you want this to be CTA, then I think it should be more legible, and it should be more legible than this. All right, it should be more legible than this. But I guess the fact that the handle itself is more legible, I think that does it. Like we said, hierarchy is very important. Notice how I'm giving enough room for my text to breathe. I don't want it to feel choked in that rectangle. It needs to have space. All right, it needs to have space. Okay, now that's not all. That's not all. Yes, I have this last one about this particular one. Now, for some reason, this doesn't just go well, and I'm not going to type this out for you. Now, I'm not going to type it out because of time. I have to critique other people's stuff. So I'm going to just copy this. So the way this should be, I don't want to type this out, so I'm just going to reflect it. All right, I'm sure you should get the idea. I'm sure you should get the idea. Sorry that this is going to be like this. I'm trying to save time. Assuming that was typed out well, that would have been the best. Would have been the best arrangement. So taking out our, this is after. Of course, if you have more time, you can actually beautify the background. But if you don't have that time, depending on what you're looking for. So this is before, and this is after. So I hope that you understood what I did. So I'll be moving on to the next person now. So but one other thing, if you have time, you can also retouch the skin and do some other interesting things here, but this is actually cool. This will do so well. I think we are good here. So moving on to the next person. Okay, for this person, this was done by Timmy Timothy. Okay, now actually, one thing I love about this design is that, sometimes it's actually weird when you have so much space in your design, but if you use it well, like he has done here, it's actually very nice. Now notice how the space here is smaller than the space here, which is smaller than the space here. Now there's a progression, there's a graduation, that there's something about space in design. If you know how to use it well, good. Now usually I used to explain these things, that the space that you have towards the end of towards the corners of your canvas should not be most times smaller than the spaces within your canvas, within the elements that is towards the center of the canvas. You understand? Now if this space at the bottom was very much smaller than the space here, then there will be a kind of disunity. All right, so I'll just go straight to pointing out the issues I have with this design. I think, like, I spoke to him directly. I said this word width is not doing its best job here. It should be here, just slightly. Like, now notice this, what I was saying about space. The space here should not be bigger than the space here. Most times I won't say it should be equal. Being equal is not bad, but most times I would rather saying that, because this is a foreign element, this as a whole is a group, this on that group, I would have said, okay fine, this should come down a bit. But looking at this, is more related to this name than this width. So it's best if the space at this point is bigger, slightly bigger than, obviously bigger, not slightly, obviously bigger than what we have within this group. Like I usually tell my students, the space without should be more than the space within, so that you can enforce unity. All right, so I think I'm going to just wipe this out. This are not lined up well, so I'm just going to fix that now. Then live on Zoom. Now I don't know how you have created your margin, but I was okay. I would have actually said I'm usually very generous with margins, you understand, compared to what you have here. I think your margin is kind of too mega. It's a mega amount of space. Well, I mean, looking at what you have in your design, but then I'm not going to talk against that, because I think this is still good enough. Then now saying that, okay fine, talking about your layout, yes, I think you're good, but the problem is, now saying this, you need to guide your viewers' eyes. You need to guide their eyes. Now what next do I do after reading this poster? I only see learn the guitar, understand the fundamentals of chord and riffs with online, blah blah, live on Zoom. If at all I actually eventually good, I will eventually check that out. Definitely. And then this last, most likely this last. But the question is, how do I get to contact you? That's what a CT is for. That is what a prompt is for. That's why you have contacts. All right. So in fact, I forgot to mention, I like the fact that this word day is not as big as the length. I think it's cool. I like it. Very good. Then so this design is not complete. I'm talking in terms of function now. In terms of function, it is passing the message, yes, but it needs, the message is being passed, but there needs to be a channel for somebody to relate back. You understand? There should be an open channel for feedback. That is to you get, now it's supposed to be an interaction. You're not the only one speaking, they have to speak to you. And how are they going to speak to you? Is actually coming for this event that you're broadcasting to them. Do you understand? So that is what I think the design lacked. For example, I would have said at least even if you don't have, if you're not putting your phone number, they probably put a website for them to visit our website, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. Moving on, I think that's all. Apart from the image, I think I've already spoke to you about the image. Never use an image that is incomplete, because people, it's like saying you're, no offense, I'm not speaking against people that are not okay, I'm not necessarily speaking against people that are handicapped, but I'm saying the way you feel when you see a handicapped person is the way you feel when you see an image that has been cut off. Let's say part of the head was cut off, like this one, the hand is not complete, apart from the fact that the guitar is not complete. So the beauty of it is not really shown, you understand? Apart from that, the lady is beautiful. But let's move on. So the next person did about 2 designs, so we are going to just critique one. I don't think I have an issue with I'm noticing something here. Okay, I don't think I have an issue with this design. I don't think I do. The only thing I might, let me take out this. Yes, the margins. I think the margin, these things are kind of too close. The margin, it feels somehow. But let's move on. There's not much of a problem with that. Like I said, they need to be a CTA. They need to be a CTA on this. There's no CTA on this. Neither is there a CTA on this. I think I don't know which one I like better, but I like the design. I think similar layout, just different. I also like the way you cut this image. I don't know how you did it. Okay, I might know how you did it, but I like the fact that the particles of the hair actually came out nice. This is good. Like I said, like I spoke to him, actually I like this design very much. I like the way he has the only difference between this and what we have been doing is that this design has more information. So he had a more difficult challenge to actually handle more details, but I like the fact that he has controlled it maturely. What I mean is that now, looking at the design, someone should be able to clearly highlight the most important things. Now, from what he has done, I can highlight this, and this, and really that's what I need. That's what, if I'm looking at the design, I know that in 5 seconds I've seen what I need to get. So if I'm really interested in reading this, then I can now go into start reading the tiny details. See, the thing about speaking to your audience is that if you need to highlight the most important things so much that it might take me 30 minutes to read what you're doing, and I don't want to sacrifice that 30 minutes. But if it is worth it, I will actually do that. But there's no way I can test. There's no way I can know if it's worth it except I read it. But you can help me out by showing me the key things that can give me an idea what this thing is talking about, so I can read more. Do you understand? Now, I've seen top secret for book success. Okay, fine. If this design is for me, it's something I'll be interested in. Of course, I'll go into it. You understand? I'll go further to read it. Do you understand? But if this is not for me, if I'm not interested in book success, then this design is not for me. It's only for people that are interested, right? Okay. I see to register. I have the information. Register me to book official if ever book official Facebook page. Then I have a date, and there is a Telegram group. Normally, I think there should be a link for this, because I don't think you can join Telegram groups by the name of the group. Maybe if this is going to be an ad, then that means that should be in the description or something. So that being said, so I like the way he has handled it. So if I'm now interested, I haven't seen these 3 highlights, 1, 2, 3. If I'm now interested, I can also keep fine. Let me read 1 webinar, 2 days review, how to successfully market, promote your book. Okay, these are interesting information. If the logo, the Facebook, and does that look like YouTube? I think that looks like YouTube. I think if in other application, I would advise if the icon is actually a bit larger than the circle in which you put them in, because for example, Facebook, the F look lost. That icon, it's YouTube, alright, I can see it's YouTube, but I think it's better if it's a bit more glaring. I don't mean increase the circle, I mean the icon itself in the circle. Then if at all I wanted to add anything to this design or like make any adjustment, it would be this white outline that's here. Now this white line outline is almost as large as your margin. You understand? So it's making it look like this date, these stuff are too close to the margin. Do you understand? Making it feel as if they are touching the margin. That it makes it feel as if this is now the new end of the canvas, whereas this is. Do you understand? So, but the way you can fix that is that you should. I'm sure you're using Photoshop for this, or whichever application you're using. But find a way to make sure that the outline on this edge is not as noticeable as it is. I think left me, I would have said you should just remove the outline. I think because if you remove it here, you also have to remove it here, so it doesn't look like this guy's head is cut off. Do you understand? So at left me, I would have said you should just remove the outline entirely. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to tell you, but so far I like what you have done. I like what you have done, and I see that okay, fine. You didn't choose to cut the image; you just blended it out, and you, as much as possible, you didn't hide out the expression in the face, because that's what we can really relate to. Then, if you actually want to take this a step further, I would advise. If you want to take this a step further, I advise you do a little retouching on the face, and probably convert it to black and white. Do you understand? Why I say you should convert it to black and white is because one, it's a background element. It's actually cool like that. But I think I'll emphasize more on the retouching. You can just use basic retouching with spots healing brush should do that for you. Spot healing brush. Let's just and if you know how to use dodge and burn to actually smoothen some parts of the face, that will actually do you some good, and try to make it look less sweaty, because I think he looks like he needs the AC turned on. You could have done something as little as that. I think it's still better than when you have this all over his face. Alright, so this is not a good job, but I'm just saying it looked not fresher and less like he's struggling. He's happy. His skin should look happy as well. You understand? So all these details are taken into consideration. You don't just take an image and using your design, you have to refine it to a level, make it more like yours. So that's really what I would say for that. And I think same thing applies to the lady's image, but the only issue I have with the lady's image is that the hand are interfering with the date. So I would have preferred, apart from removing this outline, I would have preferred that you should just probably fade out this point so that it looks like blends to white. You understand? So it doesn't look like there's another element in the background, because the fact that it is clear, it is distracting. Not so much, but it is distracting. You don't need that level of distraction. You can just fade this out or blur this out, this part out, whichever one works for you. All right, so that's all for today. I mean, that's all for this week. So we critiqued 4 people's work. So I hope you learned something. So see you guys in the next class. I will try to be doing this often, but I can't promise. I'll just try to be doing this often. I just did this because some people go back to me with what they did, and actually I like the fact that you're practicing. You're not just watching, you're making use of what you have. It's actually something I encourage, because you cannot improve your design without practicing. You have to keep on creating. You have to keep on doing something. You have to apply what you know. That is when it becomes an innate habit. All right, so I'll see you guys in our next session. That will be coming out next week. All right, take care of yourself, and that we'll be talking about how to use gradients based on requests from people. They required a video lecture on how to use gradients from my Instagram post, so I'm just going to do that first, then before we look into the next class on flyer, or the next flyer design class. All right, so have a wonderful day, and I wish you well. Stay safe. Bye.